Now, moving on, in question number 10, we look at 8-marker long answer question. Attempt the following question in 100 to 120 words. Remember, it's an internal choice based question. The first part is what we are looking at right now. For Mrs. Slater and Mrs. Jordan, greed for money is more important than their love for their father. Comment. Understand the distribution of marks here, because what you are supposed to remember is how am I supposed to secure these 8 marks? This is how you recall the distribution. Content carries 4, fluency 2 marks, grammatical accuracy another 2 marks. If you only have content and your answer is filled with grammatical errors, then you may lose on to these 4 marks and may only secure the marks for content. Now, look at the suggested value points. Both Mrs. Slater and Mrs. Jordan are very greedy and manipulative. When I remember the chapter itself, this is what the key point is to remember regarding the characteristics of these two sisters. They ignore their responsibilities as daughters. They are completely at loss when it comes to fatherly feelings. They are not hurt by the news of their father's death. Remember, it's ironical that they assume that their father has died. However, in the end, we get to know that the father is still alive. When their father is found unconscious in the bed, they don't take him to a doctor. Instead, they assume that he is dead. This obviously reflects at the carelessness of these two daughters. They both plan to outshine each other in mourning clothes. It's a sort of a competitive rush that motivates them to move ahead regarding how to mourn at the death of their father, regardless of any true feelings for the man. Right. They start distributing property even before the funeral of their father. This obviously shows the sort of insensitive behavior they have towards their father's death. They want to grab as much property as possible. The rush, the competitiveness, the trait of being able to outshine the other is only for the sake of property. Mrs. Slater brings the bureau and the clock downstairs from her father's room before the arrival of her sister. This is another fact that hints at how much they were ready to just grab the materialistic things. And in the end, we can say when their father regains consciousness, neither of them is happy to see him alive. Nothing could beat the insensitivity when it comes towards the end of the story, that they were pretty much sad at knowing that their father is no more dead and they cannot get hold of all that money. Once you have elaborated upon the traits of both the sister, you are able to justify the demand of the question. Let's look at the internal choice of the question. It says, in what sense can we call Michael a true gentleman? The chapter we are referring to is Virtually True. Look at the value points. Virtually True by Paul Stewart is a story about two boys who create a miracle by interacting with each other without meeting in person. What are we referring to here? This is the instance where Michael plays a game and tries to save Sebastian's life through that game. Who bought that game for him? His father did. So explain those events in a paragraph by outlining the qualities of Michael that we are supposed to focus on. The story is about a boy, Sebastian, who miraculously recovered from coma despite being in a critical condition. How did this come about? Remember, the focus is Michael's quality here. Michael, the narrator, like his dad, loved to stay updated with technology. Both of them loved playing Psycho Drive games. This is the game that made Sebastian come into the life of Michael itself. Further, we say Michael displays his friendly and helpful nature. Pay attention to the characteristics here. When he saves Sebastian from falling into deep sleep in the game that his father bought for him. The deep sleep refers to the coma. He never lost hope. Idealistic, optimistic behavior, was confident throughout, though he failed to save Sebastian in the third game. That itself saddened him for a while, but he did not give hope. Further, we can say Michael was a kid with great mental strength and perseverance. The trait is established by how much he worked hard to save Sebastian's life as if he was a real person. Till then, he was only considering him as a character in the game. Though being informed about the war zone, Michael never panicked, as war zone was the last chance for Michael to save Sebastian. In his last game, he did not give up till the end, till he was satisfied that he had saved Sebastian from being dead in the game. I hope the explanation was clear. Once you have all the key ideas together, remember the paragraphs are supposed to be in a coherent manner, and if your content is substantial enough, you should be able to score at least 7.5 in your answer, barring all the minor grammatical mistakes if you have them in your writing style. Now, this was question number 10 for the long response. Now we look at the novel part of the paper, which is long extended reading text, that we look at in the next segment.